Okay, before we start, I have one thing I want to bring up that I've been wanting to bring up. Okay. I cannot stand the liked reaction that's been going on in our text chains. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because it seems passive-aggressive.
It seems passive-aggressive, Miguel, okay? You're throwing these likes around here. I'm throwing you comments.
Let me agree.
And then you're throwing a bunch of like, oh, Miguel likes it. You know what? I'd rather not even get a like at all.
Okay.
How about don't even react at all?
Okay, first off, attack me if you need, okay? I totally understand, okay? Let me counterpoint.
Okay.
Let me question mark every text message you send, okay? And you tell me what feels a little bit better. What feels a little more just definitive versus wishy-washy.
One is not paying attention. The other one is a little bit more like not passive aggressive. I'm throwing you gold, and then you're
I pay attention. Is that what you're saying?
And you're let me define a generic like. I'd rather you not touch it at all. Don't even like things anymore.
First off, let me number one wholeheartedly apologize. Let me apologize, okay? If there's any sort of, you know what I mean.
The amount of likes I had to get through this whole week, and I didn't want to say anything into this podcast.
Can I please just clarify my point? Is when I like your text, to me, yes, that is a definitive answer. I am saying yes, sir. And same with emphasizing. If I like or emphasize your text, those are two separate degrees, both of like confirmation. You know
like it's what my dad does to me when I ask him, "Do you want to go out to dinner?"
And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah, or "Hey, I'm excited, Dad. I'm so excited. I'm coming to visit you. I spent all this money to see you." And then he just throws a like at you.
No, he goes, "Okay,
yeah,
okay, I'm ready."
Exactly.
No,
that
I love you,
so. Is a like to when I
no,
post
I
it.
like. Okay.
No.
Also,
I like
whenever you both exclamation mark me.
Exclamate. Every time you chums
exclaim me, I automatically self-conscious as like, oh, Ed, you went too far on that one. You should have said that.
No. I'll take both of those. I'll take both. I'll tell you this. I tell you this. Any reaction, if you ever tell me thumbs down, I'll block you from the chat immediately. Okay.
I've only just gotten a handle on the sticker thing. But
that's a much better way to represent my emotions, to be honest. The range of my emotions is beyond just thumbs up or thumbs down. You know what I mean? Mostly it's the devil. You know what I mean? Like,
when I sent and still no wanky emoji, and you both did an eyeball. What's that about?
Like, whoa, Ed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at you right now.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I was just like, great. I've got
go to youtube.com at Punch Drunk Nerd to see what we just did. Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd. We are getting hyped about our own text chain messages. This is a podcast where we talk about nerd shit. We're not professionals. We're just vibing. It's me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Miguel Sanchez. No, you fucking.
Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends are amigos. I'm Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Ed Ball.
God damn it, it's Miguel Sanchez and then Ed Ball.
The last time he looked like he was choking. This time he's too busy laughing, so I'm feeling dead air. The
air wasn't even dead at that point.
I'm putting my producer's hat on.
We're doing
my producer's hat on, and I'm going with No, Madame Web.
Have you guys seen Madame Web? The podcast is off the rails. Ed, I love how Miguel and Ed are putting on their producer hats on in the podcast. It makes me feel very comforted where I don't have to do all the heavy lifting here.
We're asking you to take a step back, to be honest. This shit's about to go off the rails.
This is overbearing.
This week episode, we're going to talk about True Detective. That's our feature discussion. We have a special guest. Who is it going to be? Let me spoil it for you. It's Steven Escobar. Steven Escobar, fan favorite, is coming back to do a discussion about True Detective. We're also going to do what we're into. Could be about movies, TVs, and books. Ooh. But first, we're going to talk about the news. Some big news. Obviously, we have some trailers. But before we talk about the trailers, listen. We don't just talk about nerd shit. We also talk about food shit. Not shit, but food. Well, some people might call this food shit. Taco Bell. Taco Bell has some new items. Miguel, I thought you would want to talk about. Taco Bell went wild on these new items that they just dropped. Guys. They had a whole like Marvel presentation where they were like phase 1, we're going to introduce these foods. Phase 2, we're going to introduce this food.
I have 2 quick thoughts. One, I kind of love that they did that just because I thought it was hilarious since everybody's doing that these days. Secondly, I've already tried the chicken empanada.
Yes, baby! Stop the presses! Ed, we will not speak further until you tell us about this chicken empanada.
Okay, so naturally, I think any fried Taco Bell thing, it tastes like their cinnamon twist. It's like the shell there's a little sweetness to it, and it's a little off-putting. Okay. It's like that carnival fry taste. You know what I mean? Like funnel cakes and shit.
Yes.
Okay. Have I made myself clear? The only thing missing is powdered sugar. You get me? But the inside is like molten lava. The Taco Bell equivalent of shredded chicken and a lot of cheese, like a lot of cheesy sauce. Like the inside is tasty, but man, I didn't touch that thing for like 15 minutes and it still melted my mouth, you know?
I gotta say...
I will say the enchilada burrito was a little better, but
we can't move on. We can't move on just yet. We're still talking about the cheesy chicken empanada. Crispinada. Okay?
Crispinada, yeah, I had to say those words.
Ed, hit us with the drive-through order real quick.
Do it.
You just pulled up.
It's like,
hi, welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get for you?
Hi, could I get the cheesy chicken crispinada?
Would you like a medium or large?
No, just by itself.
Would you like a Mountain Dew Baja Blast?
No, go fuck yourself. And then can I also get the cheesy enchilada burrito or the enche burrito or whatever?
Sure, that'll be $25.99. Pull up to the first window.
No. They all ask, do you want any hot sauce with that?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, okay. And I always say hot.
And I can't believe you're able to get us frontline reviews on the cheesy chicken.
I'm honestly surprised because this motherfucker gives me shit every time I go to Chili's. He tells me, "Whoa, Miguel, no."
It's Taco Bell, and you guys treat Chili's like it's fucking.
First off, the first time I went to Fogo de Chao, I said I wish I was at a Chili's. Okay, so
you never said that. You did not, never ever say that. Bite your tongue. Not once did that ever cross your mind. Not only that, but you did not leave hungry. I guarantee you.
No, because I ordered 5 chalupas, no sour cream.
They have cheesy street chalupas. They also have crispy chicken nuggets now. They're like, fuck it. We're throwing in the nuggets.
No, finally I can take my son to Taco Bell because that's all he eats. Okay. So he can have the crispy chicken nuggets. I can be like, do you still have gorditas? Okay. Tell me about this Dorito taco shell you have.
Oh, hell yeah. Listen, we're talking about Baja Blast. I'll tell you what I got excited about. The Baja Blast gelato. Okay.
I just
wow. Welcome back to Italy, okay? Buongiorno. Buongiorno, Gorlami. I'd like a gelato. You know what I mean? We also got some brand collabs. The Cheez-It Crunch Wrap. You want a big fat Cheez-It in your Crunch Wrap?
Wait. The Dolce de Leche Cinnabon Delights?
Yes.
Donut holes filled with Dolce de Leche. This is a win, 100%.
I mean, come on. Like, if you wanted a coma, look no further.
I'm actually disgusted by the... That's on me. By the Cheez-It Crunch Wrap? I mean, that is too much. Because what they're saying is there's like a puff pastry, like Cheez-It in the middle, right?
I don't like that.
I actually like that. I like a burrito with potatoes in it. Do you know what I mean?
But a potato is different.
I like a Crunch Wrap with a crisp in it, okay? I want a crispy middle.
Yeah.
Luis.
Well, you know cheese is going to get soggy as fuck.
You pick any Taco Bell in your general vicinity. You're not going to get a soggy ass Cheez-It in the middle of that fucking thing. No, I'm with that on this.
I will try it and I will let you all know what I feel about this.
Okay. I got a little hot. Sorry.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, go ahead. Boom.
Boom, go ahead. Shut up. I was just thinking, like, man, they really just need to bring back that grilled stuffed burritos.
Come on.
Do they not have that anymore?
No.
Well, guess what, Ed? You can vote to bring back a discontinued menu item.
Ed?
Last year, the Beefy Crunch Burrito won over the Cool Ranch Doritos Loco Taco. I'm not just reading an article right now. I don't even know what I'm saying. But you can vote on bringing back a menu item, so go do that. There's a lot of crazy shit.
Before we move on, just sorry, real quick, Luis, one thing you would order from Taco Bell, go.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna try this Baja Blast Gelato.
Not even from the new menu. Just any general Taco Bell item. That's what you'd go for.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be confrontational.
Yes, and.
Ed, what would you order from Taco Bell? Go.
A grilled stuffed burrito.
Grilled stuffed burrito. I love that. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going beef chalupa, no sour cream. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah,
Miguel does not like sour cream on that taco, baby.
Not very much.
We need to do another live episode where we go to Taco Bell and just order.
I've actually
so much.
come to appreciate sour cream with my Mexican food. It adds a little.
What are you talking about? You guys don't eat Mexican food with sour cream? What are you, crazy?
Oh, no, sour cream is not the dip.
That is bananas. Are you telling me you get fajitas without sour cream?
100% of the time.
You don't want a little sour tang to it? Oh, I'm a baby boy and I'm ready to go.
Luis, I'm a white British person.
Sour cream is a white ass dish, okay? We're from fucking Texas. So Texas. Oh, sorry. Taco Bell.
Speaking of Texas, let's talk about restrictions. No.
Restrictions to our business, restrictions to a future. AI is getting too good these days. I don't know if you've seen this. AI is what just got deleted from the doc here. Oh, okay. AI. Have you guys seen this AI stuff? I'm going to tell you this right now.
James Cameron
I've never been afraid for my job or worried about my future.
I get
until the moment that I saw this new OpenAI video of basically someone writing a prompt saying, "Show me a man with a beanie and going to space." And then it pumps out this video of a man that doesn't exist going into a spaceship that doesn't exist. And it looks like stock footage. It looks really good and it's really scary. And at that moment, I was like, fuck, do I need to go into cooking? Like, do I need to know how to be a chef? Like,
it's time to open our restaurant, guys.
I was very concerned about this new Sonora open chat GPT, whatever the fuck it is, open AI, where it looked really good with great lighting and movement, and I was scared.
And we're only like a year into that whole AI video thing, you know? Where are we going to be 5 years from now?
That's what I'm talking about. So I don't really know what to feel about this. I hope that our podcast does well, and people subscribe for the vibe, and then
Luis, baby. Could you imagine that?
Please don't hang your future on this podcast.
I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to quit my job. I'm ready to quit my job for our 75 viewers.
Yeah, Luis. I actually think I still owe you $10 for this month, so hang tight.
You definitely do.
God damn it.
The Beatles is coming out. There's a new movie. Sam Mendes. You guys know Sam Mendes? He directed
director of Skyfall, Spectre, American Beauty, Road to Perdition, Away We Go, Jarhead.
Fuckhead. Yeah, hell yeah.
1917. And that's it up until now, I believe.
Wonderful. This man, he's about to direct not one, not two, but 4 Beatles movies, and they will be released all in 1 year, 2027. Okay, talking about one per story, one about John Lennon, one about Paul McCartney, and then so on and so forth.
George Harrison.
Yeah, well, I don't want to list them all. I know, I didn't want to list them all because we had to move the tempo.
Ed, it was like two more, Luis. Two more.
I got to keep this thing rolling. Miguel.
Ed, you're a big Beatles fan. You're so excited for these movies.
I'm so excited. Actually, I'm a newfound fan ever since Peter Jackson's 4-part documentary.
You honestly were such an asshole in high school about how much the fucking people love the Beatles.
But like, to be fair, everybody is like the Beatles, and it's like
Ed, yeah, they revolutionized all of music. Of course, that's why people are like that about the Beatles.
A lot of people during that era were revolutionizing music. Like, it wasn't just the Beatles. You had the Stones, you got Jimi Hendrix, you got the Led Zeppelin. Like, everybody was revolutionizing.
The Stones was a
movement. It was a movement, Luis.
They were a studio formed. They were a studio formed company, not like the Beatles, who were creating out new bangers and changing the music industry. Everybody else was following suit. Okay, everything you hear now is because in reference to the Beatles.
No, I think that's just like an overgeneralization. We don't have to go down that road, but I do appreciate and I do respect their influence, obviously, and obviously they're great musicians. I am not as like a bigger fan, and like I said, I'm a newfound fan, if you will, because Peter Jackson's documentary "Get Back"
was so good.
Was so good. Did you watch that? I know you didn't, Miguel, so shut up.
Miguel, did you see it?
No, he didn't. He did not, so don't even say it, Miguel.
I love that Ed is so the antithesis of yes and. He's like, let me go and shut it down before you even breathe, Miguel.
Let's like quit the charade before we even go into a skit. Luis, Miguel did not see that documentary.
I didn't. Let's keep it rolling. That's fine.
Jurassic Park, the new sequel, has a new director, Gareth Edwards. Yeah, so
let me fuck the flow even more.
Jurassic World.
No, wait, Luis.
What?
No, I'm just fucking with you now.
Jurassic World was going to have who is going to be the director for that? Anybody?
That guy from last week.
He no longer is directing. Gareth Edwards, the guy who directed The Creator, is now in line to direct the new Jurassic World movie, which is slated to come out, I believe, next year.
And Godzilla and Rogue One.
Yeah, I was going to say Godzilla, right? Rogue One. Gareth Edwards is a name that I kind of am like, ooh, let me pay attention, but I just can never remember the movies he did.
So this is going to be an interesting movie because this is a movie where the studio was like, basically like, listen, we don't actually want a creative direction. Can you just do what we want you to do?
Can you just do Jurassic Park?
This is what we call just a director shooter situation where they just want somebody to just shoot the damn thing the way we want it. Like, don't. And so that's what's about to happen here. Jurassic World's going to come out. Gareth Edwards is coming off of the heels of The Creator, which didn't do too hot, right? Nobody. I never saw The Creator.
It did okay for the budget that it was on, I think.
Well, maybe that's why they want him, because of how well he did with the budget he was on.
Right. And he... I will say this. He also got an Oscar nomination.
If they wanted to put John David Washington in Jurassic Park movies, that I'm a little more here for than Chris Pratt.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
A little more low key.
I like him a lot more. So let's go.
There we go. Let's go. Let's go on to the next news topic. Ed, I don't know what this is.
Well, first off,
I'll be there.
Luis, what's your surprise?
Okay, we're going to do this. So I got this package here. And I'm going to unbox it right now.
Oh my God.
I got this package a while ago, and I've been trying to get this item for a bit. Don't tell. I'm not going to say
no. What is this?
I might get in trouble for getting this thing. But as everybody knows, I'm a big fan of a lot of things.
Could be more fake.
So I'm opening up the package now. I ordered it on Thursday. This item was very hard to get.
Oh my God.
And then my friend Jeffrey from IGN, famous, I said, Jeffrey, I need this item. And he's like, Luis, I got you. You got to follow this account called Wario64, and they'll tell you when this item comes out. He told me, Luis, the item is out. You need to get it now. I got the item. Literally the next day, it comes to my doorstep on a Friday. Today's Wednesday. I didn't open it until now. Do you have no idea how much I've been waiting for this?
Oh my God.
It is.
6 days?
All right. No way, dude. Oh, man. Oh.
That's a PS5?
No, baby.
This is not a PS5, everybody.
Well, no, obviously not like the console, but
it's a handheld. It's the PS. Oh my God, I'm the Portal. It's called the Portal.
Yes.
So this is what happened. I have
tell Ed what it is.
This is the PlayStation Portal, Ed. So basically, it's just a handheld version of like you could play PlayStation games,
like a Switch.
Yes, exactly. So this is the thing. Everybody knows I was playing The Last of Us, right? I have this other device here called a Razer Edge 5G. Okay, It's on a Kishi device. I did not like the controllers. I did not like how it connected to it. And I saw an IGN video about how the haptic system was really nice. And I said, you know what? God damn it. When I play The Last of Us, I want to feel those haptics. I want to feel the bow being pressed upon me. So I said, for what? This is $200. I said, for a nice haptic controller and for a nice display, I'm going to get it. And ladies and gentlemen, I got it. And here we are. I'm opening it up for the very, very first time. And Miguel, can you ramp a little bit here?
Yeah, what a moment. I feel like I'm kind of blown away. I feel kind of pissed off, to be honest, that Luis didn't tell me he was getting a Portal. No, dude, what a moment. This is so Ed, just real quick, the Portal itself is it connects to your PlayStation 5. You have to be on a Wi-Fi setting. It's not like a Switch where you can just like take the game with you. You have to connect to the PlayStation. Yeah. So it's got a little bit of an issue with that.
But I have a hotspot, so I can access it anywhere. And there are times when I go on vacation where I don't want to play Switch games. I want to play,
and well, I want to play. Well, first off, Ed, fuck your vacations.
You don't like to watch movies on vacation, Ed?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like to watch movies.
That's exactly what I don't do. That's exactly what I'm not allowed to do.
No.
Ed, when you're traveling to New York, you don't like to put on a movie on your iPad?
On the subway or whatever, you don't want to talk to someone?
You're talking about on route? Like, yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Or like it's portable.
Or it's
on the portable. Yeah, at night and your loved one's asleep.
I retract my... I thought you were talking about whilst you were on vacation, like whilst you were on a beach in Cancun.
No.
Well, first off, honestly...
Maybe I will.
Maybe on the second day on the Cancun visit, you'd be like, well, I could play a little...
Guys, I could do a little... Getting blackout drunk and having
maybe I'm getting blackout drunk playing Ratchet and Crank. Okay, listen,
my bad. Okay, look, sorry, let's take a step back. Luis,
my bad. Take it away. Here's this little latch. I'm about to pull it. Ooh, baby, opening it up. Okay, you didn't see anything. Nothing was revealed. Okay, I'm gonna open this. We've never done an unboxing here before. It has a PlayStation logo. You can't even see it because my light's blowing it out. Ooh, look at that.
I already know.
Oh God, it breaks. I'm very excited. No, the real reason, and this is the thing, Ed. It's very controversial because some people say, "Well, why don't you just get a Steam Deck? A Steam Deck can keep games offline the whole time." This one you have to connect to a Wi-Fi. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm pretty basic, and I just want to play PlayStation games, and I want that controller feedback. I really like the new PlayStation controller feedback. I like the haptic system, and I want to feel that on the go. I hold the Steam Deck, I hold these other things, and it just doesn't feel right. And here I am, holding this one.
Oh, show us. Let me see. No, that's the point, though.
No, I mean, I get it, but
you get that big, like, Honda Accord screen.
How does it feel, Luis?
Oh, it feels so good. Y'all.
I'm so mad.
Like how heavy? How heavy?
The only thing
Miguel will get one in 2 weeks.
You know what? Great question.
Tomorrow, watch me.
Great question, Ed. Because it actually is very, very light. It feels very light. It doesn't feel cumbersome.
It does look.
If you were to hold your iPhone in one hand and the Portal in the other, do you feel what's the difference?
Just maybe a little bit more.
Wow.
More Portal.
Like if I'm like holding it, like because I'm holding my iPhone right now on my right and the Portal on the left. I feel honestly,
complete.
Yeah, just a little bit more. It doesn't feel like overbearing. Like, oh my god, this is so heavy. I need to take.
So
if you hold a PlayStation 5 controller, it's got weight to it. You know what I mean?
Let's see that screen.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna rip the screen.
Ooh.
There it is, y'all.
I can literally see my face in your screen.
Oh my god! I'm very excited about
that. Was hot.
Did I make
that was
a mistake?
Hot. Okay, so a couple of questions. What's the? I assume since it's intended for traveling, it comes with you, or maybe it didn't come with. But you can get like a carrier set and stuff.
I can't, and I did it, and I did. I need to get a. I need to get a case for it. But look, I'm holding my phone right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And look how much bigger.
Yeah.
That's honestly kind of big because they'll sell a PlayStation controller that fits your iPhone. And if you imagine playing a game on your iPhone versus that's pretty big.
This is like bigger than an iPhone. What the Plus Pro or the big iPhone Max Pro?
Yeah.
This is bigger than that, and I'm having a good time. I haven't played anything, but I'm having a good time. So this is my surprise, and I'm ready to dive into it. Get a PlayStation Plus account.
That's cool. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You guys are making me feel increasingly inadequate as far as gaming is concerned.
Oh, don't worry. I'm falling off so fast, Ed. Don't worry.
Right.
Okay. Ed, do you have a surprise or do you want to go us into our next trailer bit?
You guys tell me.
Ed, well, honestly, if we're talking surprises, Ed, you got a pretty big one.
What's your surprise?
No, Ed, you're next. You next.
Okay, so LAB.
Okay.
The sequel.
I don't know what that even means.
You guys don't remember that?
No. That's why I asked you.
Dramatic emphasis, Luis. Dramatic emphasis. I'm doing a bit here. You guys don't remember that? It came out in 2018.
Lab.
LAB.
I feel like
an acronym or a...
I feel like this is a Nickelodeon show, like Lab Rats or something.
Something like that. It's about a guy, Anglo-American, if you will, who fucked up and had a baby with a person that he hadn't been with for very long. And so this September, and September 28th, the sequel is coming out. And they just sent me a poster. Ed Ball! No fucking way, Ed! I am having a child again.
Ed!
Oh my god, Ed! Are you fucking serious?
Dead serious. We just went to the doctor on yesterday. To confirm, I'll permit me to wait.
Oh man! Oh my god, dude!
Trust me, I've been like bursting at the seams to talk to you guys about it. Just have had to. Obviously, we've been busy and traveling and stuff, but obviously, like Sarah and I agreed we would see the doctor first before we started telling people. But there you go. In the words of Britney Spears, oops, I did it again.
You also caught me too many beers deep. I'm so mad right
now. Hey, why do you think I was pounding martinis earlier?
I mean, I just feel like I feel speechless. I feel so speechless. I feel so happy for you. And this is incredible. I can't believe you're gonna another addition to your life. This is gonna be amazing. Yeah.
Can I tell you, I was like dead scared that you were about to announce that you and Sarah were about to have a baby too.
No, you don't be scared. You rejoice.
Well, rejoice, of course. Like that would have been amazing timing, but I was just like. That's just where my head was at.
This is the sequel to look forward to. The Lab sequel, the next Ball Child, September
28th. Ball. That's
Lillian Ball.
No, I got it. We were
the
there.
Next sequel coming September 28th. We'll bring her on the podcast. We'll have her reviewing some baby shows.
You know what?
We'll have a segment.
I don't like this little guy,
Yeah, it should be like, where was the development? You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of content I want. You know what? Ed, do you have a Venmo account?
Why, are you going to send me my $20?
We're gonna throw down the Venmo down there. If help Ed out, he's going to be having a new baby.
Buy him a thing of diapers.
I need a PlayStation.
Diapers.
Get me
no.
I need a portal so I can lay next to my baby.
Yeah, we'll have your Venmo. We'll throw it down there. If you want to support Ed and his new baby, just throw him a couple bucks here, okay? Congratulations, Ed. I don't even know how to continue with this episode, but X-Men 97, the new trailer came out. It took years of development here. I mean, yeah. Congratulations, Ed, but thoughts on the X-Men 97 trailer?
I mean, when you hear banana, how do you not get excited?
Why don't you ask Miguel that, because he hated this trailer?
Well, we all agree that the original series was cheap.
Yes.
And it looked cheap.
Yes.
And there's nothing to it at all. It didn't influence my childhood whatsoever. I definitely never tried to tape. What?
I think the one that did the most influence is the Batman.
For sure.
The Batman animated series was like the animated series.
Oh, right.
For sure.
Like, I'm just doing a bit right now. I'm just doing
my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and okay.
Miguel. Yeah. So, see, this is the exclamation mark thing. I'm just like, I need clarity, but I'm killing with my jokes. But no,
when I emphasize, I'm mainly going like, "Whoa, okay, Ed."
Yeah, this is my look when I emphasize.
Ugh.
I'm excited. I'm like, what?
No, I mean, I loved the show growing up. I loved the show. I literally taped like toothpicks together so I could have Wolverine claws. Tape them to my hands. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
And those were the blades that were like chopsticks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In hindsight, I should have got chopsticks, but I used toothpicks.
I see. In elementary school, I held pencils between my fingers.
Yes, also equally good.
Those number twos, they were ready to go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you: did you guys see the X-Men movie in theaters? That was like my first superhero thing, and that was incredible.
Okay, first off, X-Men the superhero movie absolutely changed my life. The first time I ever watched it was on VHS, at home in a home setting.
Yeah.
But when we watched it, I was like, "Oh, this is fucked." The way I watched The Matrix was the way I watched X-Men 1. You know what I mean? Like, it was doing things that I was not expecting. When those claws came out of his knuckles, you know what I'm talking about? And they broke the skin.
Yes.
And they were like, "Get out of my bar, freak." You know what I mean? Like, that was a dope ass movie.
That was a moment.
X-Men.
Yeah, absolutely. But the show equally
no, not so much.
No, here's the thing. The show, for me, at least growing up in England, it was most American cartoons would air very sporadically. We had like Saturday morning kids shows where they would air like various cartoons, kind of like Cartoon Network, but whatever. It wouldn't go on all day, but one of those shows was the X-Men, but it never felt like it was in,
sequential order.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I 1 minute fucking Magneto was the bad guy, next minute him and Xavier are on a fucking adventure together.
Yes.
It was
absolutely
all over the place. But,
I
always enjoyed it. That
was my thing. Well, hang on. No, we can all lock in. Okay?
Let's talk about Rogue. Engage. But yeah, Gambit, Beast.
I think, Ed, you're hitting on a really good point here, is that all these characters were locked and solid. Like, when you see them, they were super strong. They were identified. They know what they were.
Yes.
They were just strong, palpable characters that when they appeared on screen, great voices, great visuals, great silhouettes, great sound effects to all their abilities. Like every piece about that they developed for each character was so fun and so full. So when you saw them on camera, you know, turning on their blades, lighting up a card, starting up a storm, all of that stuff, you were like locked in. You know, I don't think that, I think the Batman animated series had maybe a little bit of better storylines, like consistently.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But X-Men animated series, when they were hot on some of the stuff, like the Days of Future Past, some of the Magneto stuff, all the time traveling things. See, some of their stories really got
Jean
locked
Grey, in. Like the Dark Phoenix.
Oh, man. That's what I'm saying. So when they really honed in, but it was done on a budget. And so the way that they like kind of put all their little like pieces in, it's like, we're going to put it in the music. We're going to put it in the sound effects. We're going to put it in these voice actors. We're going to put it in the character design. All of these things really set up the stage for all of our superhero fans. Like, if you like the X-Men movie and superhero movies, odds are you probably liked the X-Men TV series. Now, here comes Miguel.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Punch Your Nerd. No, my problem is, if you think back to when we were watching X-Men, we were kids. We were watching on TV. We were watching in the 90s. You didn't have like a streaming service that had all of the episodes. So, sorry, let me do some Coke real quick. And so when you're watching these episodes, like as a kid in the 90s, they're just like, here's the Dark Phoenix, here's the Xavier Death episode, here's the fucking whatever you want. All of a sudden, a Juggernaut and the fucking Sentinels or whatever. And you just never, I personally as a child, I never followed the stream of consciousness of the show. So it just didn't it didn't speak to me. So when we talk about like, oh, we're playing on nostalgia and we're going to bring it back to Disney Plus.
I never felt nostalgic about it.
No, I'm a little out. I tell you this though, the internet is craving a Spider-Man like 98 reboot. Craven. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. Craven 21. I just feel like I could totally in the scheme of it all, if we were like rebooting those 90s cartoon animated shows, like X-Men wasn't 100% my thing. I could totally watch a Spider-Man reboot. You know what I mean? So I'm not Spider-Man knocking too. It. Let's go.
Animation style, I think it's definitely trying to recreate that like cheap stop like
not good
static staccato motion, you know what I mean, where you had to replicate keep watching replicating the cells, because you know in animation you would just reuse the same image over and over again but there were some of the designs, they changed them up a little bit. Like I feel like some of the characters look a little bit different.
Yeah,
I can still hear the voices in my head. You know what I mean?
1000%. I just feel like because right now I'm currently so this is what happened. In the morning, I was trying to wake myself up, and you know what I said to myself? I said, I'm going to watch the Planet of the Apes franchise right now.
Yes.
In the morning.
Man,
I started 20 minutes in. Then Miguel sent us a text message, and it was the X-Men 97 trailer. I watched it, and then I was like, well, I guess I'm turning off Planet of the Apes, and I'm rewatching all of the X-Men animated series. So,
wait, what is it
on? Disney Plus.
Oh, what?
So currently I'm in season 2. I'm about to wrap season 2. And I created a Google sheet so I can make sure I hit all the episodes before I get to the final release in March. I'm watching about 2 episodes a day. And hopefully, and by the time the new episodes come out, I'll be rewatched and caught up, and I'll be ready to go.
Okay, listen, the one thing I want to talk about the trailer, okay?
Yeah,
it's not visuals, okay? It's dialogue, okay? When they were like, "Oh, Xavier died," and at the end of the trailer, Cyclops is like, "Gather to me, my X-Men," or whatever.
X-Men to me.
It's like that Avengers moment, but
but he said "my." He said like, "I claim you, I own you."
So okay, that is
he's taking on the mantle, right?
No, sure.
That is a phrase that is said in the comics. That is like a common thing. It's not like a. It's
not like a nod. It's like
it is a nod. Yes. My X-Men to me. Yes, that is like Avengers Assemble. That is their Avengers Assemble.
Okay.
Like Professor Xavier has said that before. Like it is a thing that has been said, and and like it's finally putting. Well, I mean, it's not finally putting, but it's just saying Cyclops is leading this team,
and that's his whole vibe, right? Like Cyclops is the
he's
leader.
like the Captain America of
the X-Men.
Avengers of X-Men. Thank you.
Yes.
Cheers.
How is it so full, Ed?
This was a whole little bottle. It's a whole little bottle.
Okay.
But I can understand if you've never heard "To Me, My X-Men." It's like, what's going on?
No, yeah, sorry, my bad. You know,
I've never heard of that. I didn't think of that. I agree with Miguel. I thought it sounded cheap and cheesy.
But if you're building to it and it's like a play off.
But no, I'm like, I'm genuinely, but I'm genuinely excited. Like I couldn't. The kid in me couldn't help but be excited, and I want to go back and watch that with Lily. I hope she engages with it. She's been engaging with Batman the Animated Series with me.
Excellent.
Her
and
I
have been on the Mr. Freeze journey.
Oh, lately. It's so good.
She okay, this is how it happened. She saw the Batman and Robin poster on Amazon. You know, like Amazon Prime has that like banner. You know, it's just circulating the movies that it's featuring. And she saw that one. She was like, that was Batman. Who are these other characters? So I started explaining like Mr. Freeze and stuff like that. And it's early in the morning. We try not to commit to a movie first thing in the morning. But I threw on Batman Sub-Zero.
Yes!
The short film. And, you know, this little girl really getting into plot. She's just like, well, why is he Mr. Freeze? How did that happen? And also, what's wrong? Like, what happened to his wife? Why is his wife sick? Because she kept expecting to see his wife,
right,
in some way or fashion. So I went back and I looked up Heart of Ice or whatever, the first episode where we meet Mr. Freeze, where it does explain what happens to him, not so much Nora. So as soon as we finished Sub-Zero, we went back and watched that, and she was like, "But what happened to the wife?" I was like, "It's a whole thing. Don't like she's there. We all know she's there. Like that's what makes him, you know, an interesting bad guy, right?" But she was really taking with it, and she kept bringing it up later throughout the day. She was just like, Mr. Freeze isn't bad. He was just trying to help his wife. I was like, yeah, that's right. So that was cool. Anyway, all that to say is like, with that, I hope she is open to checking out X-Men with me, because I'd love to watch that with her and introduce those characters to
her. Hell yeah. To Me, My X-Men. Let's check it out. I'm not going to talk about these other trailers because we're already running long, and
I know.
I just want to celebrate you. No, don't.
I will say that Sasquatch thing, I thought it was a joke, and then I actually watched the trailer this evening.
So we watched the trailer, Sasquatch Sunset. That was a movie that just came out in Sundance. That's what Ed's talking about, right? Yeah, it's just
I'm going to keep dragging this podcast out.
Jesse Eisenberg is dressed up full robe as a Sasquatch. You couldn't even tell he's Sasquatch, but that's him. And a Sasquatch, and it's coming out very soon. I think April. It's just Sasquatch. I think it's a silent film. No one talks in that movie.
Big grunt.
Fantastic Four news. We didn't talk about that, did we?
Let's talk about Borderlands.
No.
It's hot right now. It's going to be hot on Friday when this comes out.
I've talked about Borderlands. You know, I think it's like I don't know much about Borderlands. A trailer seems fun. All right, I'll watch it.
It looks good, like quality wise. Like it has more depth than that Wicked trailer that you guys got to talk about last week.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
You know what?
Yeah, like, it doesn't feel like it's on a CGI screen. That Wicked trailer sucked.
It really did.
It really did. It's terrible.
This one at least had some pop and fun. Like, you know what I mean?
It had some pop and fun, but it didn't look flat.
Yes.
And who doesn't love Kate Blanchett? Like, why is she attached to this? You gotta wonder.
I know why, because Eli Roth is directing it, and he directed The Clock Behind Walls.
Eli Roth is directing Borderlands?
Okay, actually,
I'm
what
out.
okay,
Out.
what I heard is that he half directed it. This isn't real news.
Oh no!
And somebody else came in and finished it off. I don't really know.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, this movie is doomed.
But it might be fun, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted it to be fun, Ed. Remember,
I don't know anything
about
the game. I don't know anything about the game, so I'm. As far as this trailer goes, I'm open to it. But fuck me, Eli Roth.
Bunch, Ed. We got a whole fun cast here. I'm here for it. Give me tickets, Miguel.
You guys, thank you for listening. This is Punch Drunk Nerd.
We have a feature discussion coming up right now with Steven Escobar. If you've been watching True Detective Night Country, here we go. Are you guys ready to talk about Night Country?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm locked in.
Steven.
All right. Here's our feature discussion on True Detective and Night Country. All right, everybody, we are back here for the True Detective feature discussion, and who do we have but the one, the only, Steven Escobar.
Hi,
hey, buddy, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Love being here.
You are our HBO correspondent. Anytime there's an HBO show, we're bringing you on. Okay,
I would love that on
The Last of Us, House of Dragons. We got this one next. What's coming up next?
Remake.
The Wire remake. White Lotus.
White Lotus. Absolutely.
I gotta
rewatch. I'm sorry, not rewatch. I have to watch The Sopranos. So, Steven.
You gotta watch it. Top 5.
We'll do a rewatchable episode, but that's for another time. This time, everyone's here to hear us talk about True Detective, The Night Country. This is the 4th season of True Detective. If you haven't caught up, well, then you can jump ahead later in the episode. We have some timestamps down below, and you can keep enjoying us talking about stuff. But no, we're going to talk about True Detective, and this is a special season because Nick Pizzolatto didn't write this one. This is a new creator. This is by, oh my God, Issa Lopez. Yes, thank you. Issa Lopez. Nick Pizzolatto went into timeout. So this was on a hiatus for a little bit. Issa Lopez came in and kind of reinvigorated True Detective Night Country. So, ladies and gentlemen, and only gentlemen here, what were your thoughts on True Detective?
Yeah, let's talk about this female-led show real quick.
Yeah, poor men. Let's get the
let the men decide what happens in this female empowered show. Okay, let us tell you what this show is about.
Oh no!
No. Quick thoughts. Look, top down. There is a crime at this at this oil mining station that looks like a space station. It looks like a space station. There's a murder. We don't know what happens, and then Jodie Foster finds this human corpuscle. They're all tied together. They're like, "Whoa! What happened? How are they a human corpuscle?" They're on a discovery, and oh no, this case is tied to another case, and that brings in another detective. They don't like each other, but they come together to solve this case. And throughout that journey, they learn a little bit about themselves and kind of process their trauma and everything they've gone through. And in the end, they solve the case. That was a real broad stroke.
Yep, that felt like, yeah.
No, but I didn't want to get too much into the details because I know everybody has things they want to talk about in the show that I didn't want to spoil or ruin. So, Ed, you're about to talk. True Detective, Night Country.
Oh,
go.
The guy who left his notes behind. So
you were telling me it was better than season 1. Go on.
Yeah, you said season 1 was trash. Remember?
No. Entrapment. We're just talking broad strokes right now.
Yeah, broad strokes.
I feel like this was like a blitz watch for me. I started it on like Sunday evening. I finished it yesterday, maybe the day before yesterday. So I kind of whizzed through it. But overall, I thought it was good. I thought it felt a little overlong. I genuinely...
Wow.
And that's 6 episodes, right? That's
shortest season.
What's really funny is I actually think that it could have had more episodes to this season.
I think they did a good job of rounding out everything. generally think that they just need to leave the title of True Detective behind from season 2 onwards, simply because I think that the weight of True Detective hanging over each of these seasons has been each of these seasons' downfall. It doesn't feel like True Detective. It's not as good as the first season, yada yada. That shadow will forever hang over any season, and I just don't think there is a way to overcome that. And that's not because these series aren't good. I don't think it's because it's got like a bad cast or anything, but the magic that you captured with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson is what defined that first season. And as hard as they try, I just don't think they can replicate it. And I know it doesn't just come down to that, but whenever you reflect on what you think True Detective is or what it should be, whatever it is, it doesn't live up to that first season. And I think that's generally across the board. It's kind of the Dark Knight of its own series. People
and straight out the gate too.
Why you got to bring the Dark Knight into this? Hollywood is always
this is the best season. This is the best season since season 1. This is the best season since season 1. It's which isn't saying much. It's not like raising the stakes or anything. It just isn't as good. It's not as good. And I think the sooner they... Sorry, let me finish my thought. The sooner they... I've been out 2 weeks. I think the sooner they leave that name behind, I think these shows could stand out better as solo outings like The Night of, Chernobyl.
Did you guys see
Mare of Easttown? Yeah, these are good. These are cool, interesting detective stories, and frankly, the detective genre is well overdone. Everybody knows it, but everybody enjoys that genre, and I feel like there's a lot more to explore if you just stop trying to tie it to that first season. I think if you just called this season Night Country, any expectations or whatever going into it would have just been left behind, and you'd just be able to enjoy it. But most of the time I found myself like thinking, that just feels like a little hokey to me, a little phoned in. And we'll get more into that. But overall, I thought it was like a
broad strokes, Edward. He's like, well, let me dive deep into this hokey bullshit.
Guys, this has been a great discussion. I'm glad I got to join you guys. I'll leave you with my thoughts. Thank you very much.
I was going to say, I think, Ed, you're making very valid points. Absolutely. I personally feel like I would not be jumping into season 2, 3, or 4 of the show if it wasn't called True Detective, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why I keep coming back to it, and maybe it's like I'm a fucking heroin junkie chasing this high. You know what I mean? Like, let me get that season 1 back, baby. But I think without the True Detective name, these seasons are kind of just like floating in the ether, and they're not necessarily catching my attention. I will say, Night Country did do a really good job of I guess catching my attention, just because it was a totally different setting, this whole like 30 days of night type situation or whatever. But I will say, I think you do have valid points. I mean, it is hard to kind of capture that magic of that first season.
I've enjoyed like the jumping around with location. One thing I feel like I've felt from the second season is like, the fun thing about True Detective is it could explore so much as far as like, True Detective London or True Detective Tokyo, which they kind of already are doing and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? Like it has that potential. I mean, you could do just
we know what
America every season, but like
we just need a proper British True Detective for Ed.
That's what is really missing. Is True Detective needs a little royalty. Anyway, I'll shut up for a bit. It's somebody else's turn. I'm sorry,
Steven. You're the guest.
Ed's over here. He's gonna accidentally write Poirot or something. He's like, you know what he is? He's like a Belgian guy with a big mustache.
A Belgian
on a train, maybe a train. You keep it in the back like crazy. Me, actually, I never thought about that until you said that. I mean, you're right. The True Detective label might be the problem because I was talking about this with my nephew a while ago about like when fan bases or like a series or whether it's a book series or whatever, when it gets like really popular and the base gets like almost too big, almost too wieldy. So you get like you get like Star Wars and everyone's a fan of Star Wars, right? Everyone is. So then you make like Last Jedi and some people are like, hey, that's a good movie. And it's like, oh, this fan base is too big. Like it's too big. It's become unwieldy now. There's too many outside views.
We're seeing that with Marvel right now, where it's just like any move they make, it's like dumb, whatever. That's not how we do it, you know.
Yeah, it's
no matter like, what. Yeah,
no matter what. And I feel like that's definitely true of True Detective. Not that these seasons are as good as the first season. First season's the best, but there are people that just really, I think, will not be happy, and they're entitled to this. It's not like they should shut up, but they just really won't be happy unless they see McConaughey
doing that again.
But that's it. They're never going to be. It can be a good mystery, it can be a good investigation, but unless it's sad and dark and just some guy being like, "Oh, I love my daughter,"
somebody cutting up a Lone Star can, you know?
Yeah, unless it's like exactly that, I really do think they're going to be bad because a lot of it. It was that like on the subreddit where a lot of the complaints were like, there were complaints of them, people just like missing the script. Like, it's like, how did this person get out there? It's like, they told you how that person got there. It had, like,
totally.
I was like, I think this base is too big. I think you're right. The True Detective label hurts it because it's bringing in people that just barely understood the first season. I don't think they're going to get what's happening as it goes on. You might as well, like you say, start fresh. Let it be a dark country. Start up your own fan base so they can see this first time and judge it on its own merit. Right. But I agree. I think the grouping is too big. The core of it is
a solid point.
I think the True Detective
it's very frustrating when you read those comments and you're like, bro, are you even watching the show?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then there'll be like another comment under, that'll correct them, and they have like 50 of them. I'm like, what's going on? They have and the whole subreddit missed it. And then they're mad. Then they're like, the writer's mad. I'm going, I mean,
I tell you what,
a lot.
Speaking of Matthew McConaughey, what did you guys say? What did you guys think about them tying into season 1 a little bit? Like Matthew McConaughey's I guess parents
that
were
part
kind of there.
I'm gonna say it right now.
Let's talk.
This is tying in with the True Detective thing. That portion of it, I did not like that part.
We didn't like that.
I think the problem is that like we already get so much of that like in our diet of movie going and TV stuff of just like tying everything together. This is that, and this is that. These worlds are together, and look at that Easter egg, and here we go. And I understand an interview like that Issa Lopez was like, I like season 1, so I admired it and I wanted to put it in there.
Yeah.
But when we got to that line of like, time is a flat circle, I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh my God. Like, do we really have to bring that? I feel like that is like, there's opportunity to soar with all of these incredible things that they have going on. And I want to see that. And I feel like it gets like weighted down by just trying to tie it. But I mean, listen, I know she admires that first season, so she wants to incorporate it in, and it's a huge way too as well. Like you are True Detective, so it's a difficult balance. But again, I think if it was just Night Country, I would love it if it was that.
Sorry, just real quick. There's also that one point that Matthew McConaughey's character talks about, I spent all this time in Alaska with my dad and this and that, and this whole season is set in Alaska. It's in the True Detective umbrella. No, I get it. I get that you could totally ignore all that, but it's also like, to me, it isn't just like fan fiction that they're writing it. It's like there is some thread there that could have been followed a little more deeply.
Yeah, but then all you're thinking about is that thread. You're thinking about, when is this going to connect back to Matthew McConaughey?
But it doesn't. Is this the mom? Then it's
is she going to say?
Like, could you imagine if he had showed up? He was like,
it becomes a Spider-Man bit. It becomes a Spider-Man bit of like, with great power comes great responsibility. Now every season, someone has to say that same line. Yeah, time is a flat circle. You know.
Have you guys? Has everybody here seen the third season?
No, but spoil it.
Oh, not Louis? Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Oh, really, baby?
I think the second one, I just like by the time the third one came out, I was like,
we can have that discussion. We can have
Yeah. Anyway, my point being is like they kind of use the investigation from season 1 with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It's almost like a red herring in the third season. Like it comes up, and they think it was tied to
the group or whatever,
the crime or whatever. Yeah, and I want to say they reference that spiral too. I might be wrong about that, but like that spiral thing seems to keep popping up in my head. Maybe it's just me, and then I'm losing my mind. But that felt like a throwaway, because at first, when they first mentioned it, you're just like, that's kind of interesting, and they're going to kind of keep it in this kind of this world of like underground like sex trafficking and child killing and shit like that. But then it kind of didn't go anywhere. And the thing about the third season is like, I don't remember a whole. I mean, I don't remember like a whole lot. I remember like certain parts of it, but it doesn't stand out to me. But I feel like if you, like you were saying, Luis, if you are going to make those nods or references or try and kind of tie the whole universe together,
then do it.
Do it properly, like delve into it. It's kind of like Inspector when they try to tie all the Daniel Craig movies together and James Bond, and you're just like, no, it doesn't really work. It's like it's just a throwaway thing. It changes nothing.
It's a symptom of everybody wants all the universes to be together, because listen, what's this? Marvel has made billions and billions of dollars doing it, and so every other studio is trying to replicate that. They're trying to create universes. Remember when we were talking about billions? How they were making spin-offs of millions and trillions, you know what I mean? Like everyone's trying to create hundreds.
You know, I mean, even legit like anthology shows like True Detective and American Horror Story. Every season is supposed to be something totally different, but they just can't help but to connect them. You know what I mean?
I would say the rare exception would be Fargo, because I love Fargo. And
I actually haven't seen that one. I got to do that one.
The most recent season was great, like one of the best ones. So.
Yeah, I want to watch that season because I feel like it's also that cold detective thing, and I feel like that's a nice movie back. So for this one, sorry, I didn't get to give my view on it. All
right,
so everybody shut the fuck up. No, I'm kidding. I haven't seen season 3, obviously, and season 1 has a little bit of that supernatural element. And when we saw season 4, we saw a lot of that supernatural element. We thought, oh, this is what ties this True Detective to the other True Detectives. There's some sort of like ominous supernaturalness. And then as the season progresses, you realize, oh, they really amped that all the way up.
They did.
Everything is really almost at the point of, I think the penultimate episode or the before that, it was like horror-esque, where it just became like, what is this, a horror show now with all these ghosts and frightening and
it felt like the Thing, right?
Yes.
Totally.
And so it started to create its own life in the supernatural lens. And then I took a step back and I was like, oh, actually, this is really cool. One, because detective stories, like Ed says, everyone does detective stories. So what do? You have to subvert those tropes. You have to find new ways to interpret those things. And where is this based? It's in Alaska, where there's a bunch of indigenous people. And as my family, or they're from Mexico and they come from an indigenous line, I go visit my uncles and they're always talking about ghosts. They're talking about things that they've seen. They're talking about spookiness and all this crazy stuff. And they just see life through this lens. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that this story kind of did the same thing, where everything was kind of told hand in hand, tie to tie with this kind of supernatural ghost-esque story that did reveal a little bit of truth about these characters. Because of that supernaturalness, you learned a lot about Danvers. You learned a lot about Navarro. Is that right, Navarro? Did I just okay, thank you.
Well
I lose my mind. But at the same time, they were tied with actual practical things that happen in real life. So it does this really fun thing where you hear fables or old stories or old myths where they utilize these kind of like supernatural, magical realism things to kind of convey a deeper truth. You know, you have the symbolism to help get at a deeper place of it. And I really like that, because at the very end, you see like, what's your story? You know, they're asking the indigenous people, like, what is your story? And then they kind of tell it. And that, and all of that culture and history is super important, especially for Navarro at the very end. You know, her sister, she died because she lost herself, you know, with all the trauma. But when she went into the snow, her mother ghost was just trying to reconnect her back with her, her name, you know, her native name. And then Danvers was trying to reconnect with herself. Like, everyone had this trauma that they kind of had to reevaluate. Like, you know, it's like, what is the true crime? their past lives. You know, they had to uncover their real lives. And so I think the problem is people go into it thinking like, I expect a crime to be solved, but this kind of actually became something else entirely. Do you know what I mean? And I think that might have tripped. I think that might have tripped people up because there are reviews of that. It's like, listen, that's not really the story, but this person is trying to subvert those expectations. You know?
Yeah. I thought, like I said, I thought the whole murder element to it was murder. I thought it was done really well. Like I liked the intrigue, the kind of supernatural.
That visual of that human corpsicle was amazing. Like I love that. Yeah.
The corpsicle, what a great name. But the evolution of that and how they kind of slowly revealed certain things, but with the kind of supernatural horror element to it too. You're just like, what the fuck did happen to these guys?
Oh yeah.
And the whole time you're so consumed with that mystery that you're almost not focused on the whole Navarre, like the I want to Annie or Ali,
the Annie case.
Annie.
Yeah,
she was murdered, and it's kind of like misdirection kind of thing. And when that slowly unveils itself, I mean, it's pretty satisfying, at least to me. Like I thought, like again, they brought it kind of full circle.
Oh yeah,
like. And brought all those pieces, all the speculation that had been going on throughout the series or the season, like bring it back to the end. And I mean, I feel like maybe I missed a few elements, maybe hints, but that's the fun about.
You can kind of go back.
Murder mystery. You can go back. You can
be catch it.
Especially, exactly. Like True Detective season 1. The Dark Knight. It laid out. I'm also using that term ironically. I want you guys to know because everybody always compares to The Dark Knight. We always joke about that. But the I forgot what I was going to fucking say now, so it doesn't matter.
Well, go ahead, Steven.
No, I was going to say I kind of enjoyed the just for positive. Like one of the things that felt like was done well. Like if I'm looking at from Lisa Lopez's perspective of what she tried to do, I think she hit a home run from her perspective. Like what she was trying to do, I think she did exactly right. Yes. Which is, have you guys ever heard of this? I found all this shit out because of the show, but there's like an acronym called MMIW. You guys ever heard of MMIW?
No.
Exactly, right? It's Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, and it's like a nonprofit organization.
Oh, wow.
They had to like go out and do their own work because the feds had no list, the cops had no list, they wouldn't investigate. And if you're an Indigenous woman, you are at the highest risk of being gone missing, SA, murder. No one gives a shit. And it felt like such a good misdirect to be like, hey, there's these scientists. And really, someone like, what was her name? Navarro would be like, yeah. But Annie K, can we refocus? So
yeah.
My whole time I was like, you're right. I'm not interested in the scientist thing. We'll figure it out. The show will give it to us at the end. But you're right. We need to solve this Annie K thing. No one's going to help us. No one's going to work with us. If there's clearly insiders hiding information, all this stuff, that felt like the big albatross around their neck this season of the Annie K thing. And that if they don't do it themselves, it's never going to get done. And then sure enough, at the very end, who's the killer? They're like, if we don't do this, it's not going to get done.
It's not going to get done.
That was the message. Yeah. So I'm watching
the best,
like, True Detective, maybe not. But this show, for what it was, the story was a very well done story.
And as they come into the room one by one, they're like, they're still coming. They're still. Yeah. That was such a great moment when they just like kept piling in again and again. And then another moment is when they were like, if the like what's it called? If the winter, the storm, if the cold takes them, then it takes them. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like there's almost this like, we didn't kill them, but we did kill them kind of thing. We let them. We let the fates decide.
We facilitated it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Are they survivors? I don't know.
The desert.
Well, I was gonna say, was it kind of reminded me of Wind River?
Oh, totally.
Oh, I never saw Wind River.
I was going to tell Kristen she should watch it based on this season. Yeah.
It's, I mean, kind of similar in that, like, it follows the murder of an indigenous woman on a reservation, and the the FBI, I want to say, are involved, and that's played by Elizabeth Olsen, and it's got Jeremy Renner in it. And Jeremy Renner is like he lives on the reservation. He's kind of like a ranch hand or whatever.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and watch this because I'm a little faded.
It's a Taylor Sheridan movie, and it is rough. It is fucking rough. I'll say it's bleak and rough.
It has a couple moments that really like punctuate the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
you're
the
like,
ending,
oh, okay.
The ending is fucking brutal. Like it sits with you. It's I would recommend it. But yeah, it reminded me a lot of that film. But yeah, I was wondering, since you mentioned it, Luis, that scene that you were talking about with everybody coming in like one by one, the ladies.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, did you guys think that they were kind of like threatening to murder them?
Oh, 100%.
Or do you think they were just like standing with one another as like, if you're going to take her in, you're going to take all of us in kind of deal? Because we all had a hand in it.
I think it was standing their ground. I never really felt threatened. I just felt like, oh, this is bigger than I expected.
I did feel threatened. I felt completely intimidated. And I even said to Street at one point, I was like, you don't have to intimidate me. I'm not taking anyone in. I said it out loud.
I think it was a little bit of both. It was like, we're showing solidarity, but it's also like, you know what? Like we already got our hands dirty.
Maybe that's the intentional
people. You know what I mean?
Right. Maybe that's the intentional perspective. Like Navarro is feeling kind of
conflicted.
Well, not conflicted, but if anything, emboldened. Like
she just got her
reassured she's reassured by her own people. Whereas Jodie Foster's probably thinking like, we might not get out of this if I don't just like play along, kind of deal.
I mean, there's even a moment where I want to say she kind of stands up, and Navarro's like,
"It's okay, shifty.
It's okay, sit down, it's okay."
Jodie Foster is definitely shiftier in that moment, but like, but that's a nice play on it too. Like, it's a nice contrast.
But that right there, that dual perspective by race, I think it's true of the audience as well. Like Louis, you were talking about. You know, how you can relate it to family and how they talk and how they... It just doesn't seem like if you get a bunch of, I don't know, white boys to watch it, they're going to be like, bring back McConaughey. Like, it's just something it's not going to register with them that they're watching this perspective from an indigenous...
Yeah.
I just didn't click it.
I will say...
It didn't click at all on my subreddit. Like, no one picked up on it.
No. Well, first off, Reddit.
Fair. Right. I just it's been weird. It's been a weird month reading this shit. Like, wow.
I will say, of all the True Detectives, to Ed's point, this is the one that I feel like could have, you were totally right, Ed, could have just been like Night Country. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't the True Detective name or whatever, this would still be a very interesting season.
Like, give me Night Country season 2 kind of thing, you know?
Okay, Ed, let's go.
But I mean, like, you've got this kind of like the relationship between Navarro and Jodie Foster's character, like, they're almost reteaming at the end of it, or by the end of it. Or well, obviously she leaves. Spoilers, but she leaves. But we assume she's going to come back eventually. And that would be cool.
If we're talking about just really quick favorite moments, I loved that last shot of the season. Like, when
it was very cool.
She was in her cabin, and Navarro kind of walks up, and they're not really looking at each other.
There's a divider between them.
That
was interesting.
I thought it was
they're divided but together, and she just has this very powerful pose, and then she seems very relaxed and.
Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and talk about the two leads for a second. I thought, this is just me, phenomenal performances. Okay, like I thought absolutely both of them played their roles perfectly. Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't believe how long it's been since I've seen a Jodie Foster project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But also the actress that plays Navarro, she's relatively new to me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick about it. I don't know her name.
Kaylee Rice.
But she was amazing. You know what I'm saying?
I loved watching her on screen.
Every single time she was on screen. You know, it wasn't Jodie Foster carrying this whole season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and especially like her connection to the indigenous people and everything like that. It was like, I truly feel for this character. It doesn't feel like we're just like putting on airs or whatever.
Right.
Like, no, this was a pretty solid cast.
I completely agree.
With the exception, I do have one quick exception.
I do have one too.
The dad cop prior.
John Hawkes.
John Hawkes.
Let me say
okay, because you're about to talk about one of the greatest actors.
First off,
okay,
phenomenal actor. I'm not even about to talk shit about his expertise. I kind of think he was misused, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he was just kind of like a by the numbers bad guy. I kind of mentioned this with Luis very briefly in the last time we talked about it. It just kind of felt like he was like really playing these beats, and I don't think it was necessarily him, but maybe like the script for him.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like from day one, I was like, obviously this guy's fucking around. He's doing something wrong. And then the big reveal is, oh, I'm fucking around. I'm doing something wrong. It's like, yeah.
I think I want to say something about this is that I think the episode count has something to do with it. I feel like if you did have more episodes, you could explore a little bit more.
Flesh it out a little bit.
Because there were moments, and this is like one, and I've praised this, but there are one things that for me is pacing issues a little bit, where you feel like we need to space this out or we need to slow it down a little bit. And I think that I just had issues with that throughout the whole thing where
I felt that the most in the last episode.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. So Us, I thought about Us, the movie. Have you guys seen Us? Jordan Peele's Us?
But Us. Yes.
You've seen Jordan. You have not. You guys seen Jordan Peele's Us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The problem with that movie is at the very end, they just throw all the fucking plot at you at the very end. They're like, you want to know what happened? So why don't you sit down for about 10 minutes? I'm going to tell you everything that happened. And I think this is the thing where it's like we're waiting and we're in so much mystery. And maybe this is just a thing. Maybe this is a personal preference I have with detective stories, but I don't like to have everything revealed to me at the very end all neatly and tightly and cleanly. And
you kind of want to pick up those pieces on the way.
Yeah, like pick up the pieces. I want to know pretty much almost everything at the penultimate episode. And then by the last moment, it's focused on one singular thing where you are hyped for. Like, let's tackle this and let's see what happens. But here, there were so many things that had to come together and so much exposition and so much reveal. Like,
totally.
Yeah, like what if they did in the penultimate episode, they like figure it out, like they discover it, they figure it out, they go to like deal with it, and then the electricity goes off like when they're there, and now they've got to like survive or find a way back. So
absolutely.
Episode that would be emotional, go flight.
Yes.
One more episode
where you're not burdened with it. You have the weight of like of trying to figure all that off of you, and you're just focused on one goal. That is nice to me. And I think it's just, I think maybe they were only given 6 episodes, and so you have to like force everything together. And so be someone like that character, Miguel, probably had to be bullet pointed through.
And that's what I mean. It's like, because again, he is a great actor. I mean, I'm not talking shit at all. It's just like, oh, okay, we're doing.
It sounds like you.
He showed up. They were like, you got 2 weeks and you got to film all this, and he was like, well, okay, I know how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you had a second point too. That you were like that guy. Was there something else that you said too?
I've lost my train of thought by now. But I just all to say is like, I didn't love that structure of his performance.
I don't like to talk about the other season. I like to just talk about this season. But there's one thing I do want to compare it to. I am going to bring the comparison pants. Let me put them on.
The pants?
The comparison pants. Let me put my comparison pants on, okay?
You're like compression socks. You're wearing the comparison pants. Like I imagine they're very tight.
I'm diabetic. I need to put my compression socks on and my comparison pants on at the same time. And I'm putting my producer hat on right now. Okay.
Yeah. You're like defender.
No. The director for True Detective that we talk about, Nick Pizzolatto, whatever, right? That's his name, the guy who created it. But truly, I think what really connected me to that first season was the director, Cary Fukunaga.
Fukunaga, yeah.
He was an incredible director, not just visually, but also directing the performers to get exactly what he needed. And I think Issa was able to direct the performers really well in this one, but I think the only thing I didn't see was the visuals. Like, I think the visuals for that first season were really stunning, and the tone, the color grade, I really loved. And here, there were some outstanding moments, like when like the very last scene, we talked about that when they kind of come together in the hut. There's also a scene when Danvers falls through the ice, and she's trying to get out. That was visually
that was
very
great. I remember that. That's right.
I love that.
I guess it's harder when it's such like it's pitch black all the time kind of deal.
But the thing is like this is how I felt. I felt like Carrie was able to find very
it's Mr. Fukunaga, right?
Yeah, okay. Carrie like to find some very interesting. My buddy Carrie like to find some very interesting shots. And here, I feel like there were a lot of like I don't know, just kind of back and forth, 3/4 like mid shots. You know what I'm saying? Not like quality wise, but just like framing wise.
I get that.
Where it wasn't like too inventive, and that was the only thing. Because I remember when I watched True Detective, I was like, oh my god, these shots are stunning. And here it was a little bit more, not by the numbers. But
kind of.
I think that was a little bit intentional. I think they weren't really focusing it on that much as they did in the first season. But I just remember like not being as wowed on or impressed.
I agree.
Or stimulated or inspired by the visuals. There you
go. That's what I mean, though. Is like it didn't. It just adds to another like a long list of what people think True Detective should be. You know what I mean? Characters, how it looks, the dialogue, like everything was so concise in that first season. I found myself nitpicking at Jodie Foster's performance, which you guys were like sucking her off a minute ago, but like it took me a while to warm up to her because at the beginning it just felt like hot. I was just like Jodie. It feels like Jodie's like acting. Like
it's Ms. Foster, like, okay,
Miss Foster. I'm sorry, Academy Award winner Miss Foster. If she was British, she'd be a dame. But don't get me wrong, I love Jodie Foster, but it took me a while to warm to her. I warmed to Navarro a lot faster than her, and I get like what they were trying to do with the character. She was like
she's
got
this like grizzled
around. Yeah, exactly.
The way they made her, the way they made her promiscuous, I was kind of blown away by that. Yes. Like, what a character choice! Because they were basically like she would be like the Hank Pryor, right? She was like, oh, just because she blew you doesn't mean she can leave jail or whatever. But then everyone's like, "Don't you fuck?" Basically, everyone was down.
Right?
It was like
that was woman. That
was character development.
There was that one woman who she was just like, "Look, I'm sorry, your husband doesn't fuck good," and she knew that because she fucked that guy. You know,
that's kind of hot.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
That's
a great
callback. Yeah,
let's go, Jodie.
It was just like the way she was putting on that kind of like you were saying, like like sheriff, and it just felt more put on at the beginning, and the more you realize about your character, like you realize that she kind of obviously covered up for Navarro a lot, vice versa. They were, and maybe she felt like she never got enough credit for that from Navarro, and that's how they kind of split up, you know, because obviously,
but again, very much like tying to True Detective, right? Like, and I feel like that's the same in season 2 and 3 as well. That they're like, we have to do similar story beats from the season 1.
Yeah.
This one being like, well, you know, season 1 they killed a guy and they covered it up. Then they're doing the same thing here. You know, same thing with, I felt with season 3, they were like, oh, the formula in season 2 didn't work, so let's bring it back to the two grizzled detective partners.
Yeah, tell it through time and everything.
Yeah, every season is like, let's find what worked in the formula and try to refine it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where we lose the thread a little bit.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate when they try to recreate the beats, though, you know?
I get it. Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
We were talking about shots a second ago. Sorry, I don't mean to.
I love how you're like directing this whole thing. You're really taking control. I love it. You know what I mean?
I was like, I couldn't believe how much I watched this season. No,
off your phone or on your phone?
A little bit of both, to be honest. I got yelled at a lot. All right. No. And look, I texted you guys separately, Ed and Luis. I was telling you guys, you have to watch episode 2. Like, you have to start episode 2 if you're going to keep watching this show, because it started so strong. Steven, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this. But like, they found the intro. They found the corpsicle, and then the guy wakes up.
And
screams right before the title. Bro, so talk about supernatural. That's where I thought we were going in that moment.
For sure.
I was like,
yeah, for sure.
Holy shit, we're going a totally different direction with this show.
That reminded me of Seven.
Oh,
that movie.
Oh, well, yeah.
Absolutely.
When he wakes up on the
Wow,
bed.
yeah. I love that.
Like where that guy's like talking to that doper, and all of a sudden he's like, "Ugh!"
Yeah.
Most horrifying thing. That moment in True Detective was just like, oh fuck.
That's honestly for me what sold me on Jodie Foster because of her reaction. They did that really great shot of her being like scared, and it's like, oh, you're supposed to be the grizzled detective, right?
Right.
Oh, but you're also like afraid of something,
right?
Or at least shook. You know what I mean?
So that guy who survived out the corpsicle, did they ever mention he? That was the same guy, obviously, but he was the guy who initially stabbed Annie, right?
I guess so. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I have to go back and rewatch.
He was the one who first started. I'm fairly certain. Did they ever say what happened to him in the aftermath?
I was going to say, I don't think. Did we ever go back to him after that?
Well, I mean, he was in the coma, right? He was the coma guy.
But did he flatline after that? Like weird sequence?
Like he points at her.
He points to her. Yeah.
It's like your mum says hi or something.
Oh, he dies right after that. That must be what
right?
He does.
Okay, maybe he did die
because every time a character does that like out of body experience, that's like the connection to death. That's the
like right before they're about to die
to
or
the
whatever.
Ghosts of Ennis or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I like it.
Great.
I'm just putting it together right now.
1000%. I'm putting it. I'm hearing you putting it together, and I'm jumping on that train.
That's got to be it. Sorry, I got my
No. I just blanked on that moment. I guess I was trying to recollect, but yeah,
that's what I think they died from. Right? They went out in the frost. They saw a fucking ghost, and their heart stopped. They died of fear, and then they froze. That's my theory of what
I love. I want to talk about like these supernatural elements that were never answered, like Fiona Shaw's character who found the corpsicle body, but how? Anybody?
By her ghost husband.
Her ghost husband.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so that was that whole thing, right? Is like Ennis in the dark is like marred by these ghosts. You know,
we see ghosts here.
And so many characters were like, obviously Ennis has ghosts. You know what I mean? Like, there's fucking ghosts here.
There's that question. There's the question of who put the tongue on the floor.
Yes.
There are all these still like kind of quasi like wait. It's this unsettling place where like we did have most of the questions answered, but then also wait, why did this happen? And I think that unsettling is on purpose, and that's part of the tone and that's part of the storytelling that is new to some people that may not, but may kind of reject to it. You know,
I think that open-endedness feels maybe contrary to the nature of True Detective for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Like again, the name makes you think you're watching something. It's something else. People get mad.
Yes, exactly.
Can I don't know if it's too early, but can I ask the question? How do we rank this season in all of True Detective seasons so far? Okay. Steven, we'll start with you. Have you seen all the True Detective seasons?
I've seen all 4. I obviously number 2 is the best. Number 1 is the best.
I was respectfully going to give you space.
The way Vince Vaughn came in,
I respectfully was like, all right, if he says it, then I'm not going to say anything.
Man, let him do it on his own. Yeah. No. I for me, it goes season 1, season 3, season 4, season 2. Season 2 always goes to the best.
Interesting.
And I really did like season 3. I thought that was just so well done. A good. They subverted expectations. They let Mashra Ali do his thing. Like I think they did exactly correct. And then season 2 was exactly wrong. Like it was like you missed everything mark. Not everything. There's some scenes that were really good.
Well, that's what some about season 2 is like. You spend years working on season 1, and then they're like, make another one next year. I'm like, are you serious?
Season, absolutely. Season 2 had a lot of things working against it. I will say I enjoyed watching season 2 because at the same time, I don't know if you remember, that was the season in Game of Thrones where, spoiler alert, Jon Snow dies at the end of that season.
Oh, really?
And they were airing Game of Thrones and True Detective season 2 back to back that season. So it was just a hype train. It was like, fucking let's go.
Right.
So I have True Detective season 2 is like my event.
Miguel, because I had the exact opposite. I'm realizing that was when I stopped watching Game of Thrones. Like, ugh. And then True Detective was like, ugh. Wow, I was having the exact opposite reaction on the other side of the planet.
I shouldn't have even. I didn't even. I want you to know, Steven, having you on the pod, I didn't even mean to bring up Game of Thrones like that. That was my bad. But I'm glad I did, okay? That was totally unrelated. Dude, of course I brought it up.
Okay.
No, I kind of agree with Steven, though. Obviously, I feel like we're all going to say, except for maybe Luis, I think we're all going to say season 2 was the bottom. Okay. I mean,
I'd like to hear Ed's. If anyone's going to have an alternative opinion, it's Ed.
So here's the thing. Like I kind of alluded to earlier, I don't remember much out of season 3, and I watched that one more recently. But there are moments in season 2 that really do stand out to me.
Wow.
I do remember, because it ended. Unlike season 1, it ended kind of like on not a cliffhanger, but it just like on a sour note, because the case, they didn't solve it. They had to go into hiding. Colin Farrell got shot. And that was the same time as that one,
I don't remember any of that.
That one California cop.
He get shot.
Yeah. He got shot in real life kind of deal. So it was drawing parallels from that.
Oh, really?
And
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, there are big chunks that I would have taken out, i.e., the Vince Vaughn storyline, maybe.
See, I think on paper, I feel like contextually, that's a solid storyline. It was a crowded
season. It was a crowded season. I think that's what it was.
Well said.
But I think, again, the Colin Farrell parts really stick out to me. And again, there were scenes, especially his ending, that really stood out and affected me.
I gotta go back and watch that one.
And I really like Rachel McAdams in that season too.
Absolutely.
So I feel like if I went back and watched them, which I might actually, because I've been telling myself I want to go back and rewatch season 2 of True Detective. So I might just do that and then follow it up with 3 and then compare it then. But as far as memorable moments go, I would say season 2 over season 3, and then maybe season 4 at number 2.
Well, memorable moments, though, is a really good point, because I agree with memorable moments. You're right. Season 2 had a lot of really good moments you could see clear as day. For sure.
Yeah.
You're right.
But it's bring the whole thing together. I agree. It wasn't as... It didn't come together as well as I think they were trying to make it work.
Agree. I think.
And again, it was just crowded.
It was way too crowded. Season 1, the crime was child kid theft and horrible crimes, right? And season 3 was essentially the same thing. And then season 4 is indigenous women go missing. And then this. And season 2 was a stolen diamond. That's not
it was
ethical or moral issue
off the path.
Completely irrelevant. Don't care. Oh, they killed the mayor. I don't give a damn. This is not. We have to help these victims. I didn't care about helping any of these victims until we got to the end. You found out it was there was an orphans that were created from the diamond. Okay.
The thing I remember the most about season 2 is they were oh, the fucking train we're trying to build. And it's what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah. Right. It was a lot of just kind of vague shit that was kind of lingering in the background. A faceless villain.
Cast.
Great cast. A faceless villain that I think, again, the imagery from season 1 was so strong. The villain, the guy that they end up getting at the end of that season is so embedded in your mind. The Yellow King or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that guy is terrifying.
Yeah.
And that kind of that perfect that perfect introduction to him in the final episode of that season, where you see his interaction with his sister, lover, whatever. It's just it tells you everything you need to know about that guy. Season 2, again, it was just the system.
The system, yeah.
The system,
right.
Yeah.
It was
and that was harder to swallow.
So
anyway, all that.
If we had to put a button on it, Ed, rank it real quick. Go.
Okay, 1, 4, 2, 3.
All right, I'll take
2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I have heard a lot of good things about 3. Every time I talk to people, I'm like, oh, you got to watch 3.
I would say
it was 2.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think it was anything exceptional, and this is like the whole True Detective
Are you
thing.
saying season 3 was kind of the Force Awakens to season 1 kind of situation?
That's a fair. Okay.
It's a little unfair because they actually do some really interesting things narratively, especially with Mahershala Ali's character.
I loved season 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think that Mahershala Ali carried that season and that
no, it wasn't just Mahershala.
He glowed up that season.
Right.
No?
There's what's his face.
I'm just speculating.
The pair.
I thought the pair were really good.
They
but
were really
obviously, yeah. They worked really well.
Who's the pair? Honestly, season 3, all I hear about is Mahershala Ali. Like, who's the second person?
Because he's like the A-lister.
So Deacon
And
Frost.
also-
okay, he fought Blade, and then he teamed up with Blade.
But
for
that's
True
not his
Detective
name, is it?
Season
Yeah, but
3.
what's
So
his name? What's the actor's name?
I'm blanking on it, and I feel bad,
Yeah.
but I do like him.
I know you know, Miguel. You said it in one of the last couple episodes. You said it in like the
Stephen
last
Dorff.
Stephen Dorff.
obviously, Steven, okay?
Obviously.
Stephen Dorff.
But in the third season, Mahershala Ali's doing both the time, the past, and the present. But Dorff is not so much in the present. Remember, he's gone off. He's got a career, and Mahershala Ali's still investigating.
But I think, I think that was the great dynamic of that season.
I mean, it was great.
like
It's just he doesn't get half the amount of lines that Mahershala Ali got.
Wait,
Mahershala Ali got
fair.
monologue.
But I think that dichotomy of like your partner is like professionally.
Say it again, Miguel.
Dorfcotomy is. It's like you're like it's kind of like True Detective season 1, right? Where we're replaying some beats. Is your partner is professionally advancing over you, and that is like a big pivotal moment of these two characters in season 3. You're both on the case, but one of you plays the system better than the other. You know what I mean?
I hear all the comparisons. I guess I'm just talking about time, like screen time. Like Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, find out what that ratio is. I guarantee you, Mahershala Ali and Dorff, it's not even close. I can guarantee it. What was that?
I don't know what happened.
Was it birthday?
Balloons
Miguel,
just
did you
came
go back
up.
and see the heart?
You do peace, and then it comes up.
Peace.
That's what you just did with the balloons, I thought.
Can't do it at all. Gotta be your special computers.
Okay, look, we'll finish this up. I'll say it. Okay, my
that should be a.
Did you
didn't do that?
You could have had some green pink line.
Bro, a green balloon came out of you when you did that shit. That was like a straight up stink bubble came out.
Sorry, everybody. For the listeners at home, we're having some visual gags here with the new Apple
you guys
stuff.
head over to our YouTube at Punch Drunk Nerd.
Yeah.
Obviously season 1 for me. I think season 3, season 4, season 2. That's my rank.
That's my ranking. Oh wait, no, mine was one. Yeah, no, that.
No, I think me and Steven agree. I think we agree.
We agree.
I think we're basically on the same page there.
At least 1, 2, and 4.
I'm in the same. I mean, just because I haven't seen season 3, so I can't have a wild take. But I would like to revisit season 1 and all these shows again.
Revisit season 1? How many times have you seen season 1?
Once.
You fuck. I watch it once a year, you asshole. That season is so good.
How many shows are you watching once a year?
I'll rewatch them. I don't give a fuck. True Detective season 1.
Shows once a year?
True Detective season 1 is the GOAT.
Andor. It took you so long to finish
okay,
Andor
hold on. Okay, you know what? Now we're talking about season 1.
It's a dark night of TV.
I have a question though. The last time I watched season 1, we were dangling around about the flat circle, and then by the penultimate episode, we were like, all right, let's get back to the case. I was like, well, what the fuck were we just talking about just now? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I felt about season 1.
No, I don't understand what you're saying. If you don't walk away from watching season 1 going, that was the greatest season of television I've ever seen in my entire life.
Greatest season of television?
Yes!
Like
Luis, come on, stop, Luis.
That sounds like someone who's never seen The Sopranos.
Luis, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take it. Hey, all right, whatever. Fucking gabagool, whatever. All right.
I think season 1 brought a lot of interesting things and play with the medium.
The Sopranos
really well.
is like 22 episodes. True Detective is monumental, and it's 8.
Luis.
True. Good point. Fair.
let me rewatch it. We'll come back. I'll rewatch the episode. I'll talk about it and what we're into.
And we'll have gabagool.
We'll have gabagool. I'll eat spaghetti while I'm eating.
We'll drink Lone Stars.
True Detective.
We'll have Lone Stars.
So tune into some more episodes. We'll talk more True Detective because I'll keep watching True Detective. Steven, thank you so much for coming to this episode.
No problem.
We miss you. When are you going to become a permanent member? I don't know when. What's that? What's happening?
I got two things. I want to say before I go.
Oh.
Okay. First thing, do you guys know what Issa Lopez has upcoming? A project that's upcoming that I'm so excited about. You guys know about Guillermo del Toro is producing a thing for her. She's directing.
Oh.
Do you know about that?
I didn't know.
Shut up. What?
Guillermo del Toro is producing a film that she's going to direct. And it is called, right now, because it has no name, it's called Untitled Werewolf Western Project. And I could not be more excited.
Sign me up.
I want to see this.
Sign me up.
Guillermo del Toro, Untitled Werewolf Western Project.
That's what I want to hear.
I was just looking it up.
Yes.
Fun trivia. We were talking about Wind River. I guess she was in the unofficial sequel to that movie.
Issa Lopez?
Yeah.
Well,
no, wait. No, not Issa Lopez. That's the director. I was thinking of Callie Reyes.
She's in it too, though. I want to know more about whatever she's doing next.
That's my bad, guys.
At Issa Lopez, hit us up. We'll join you. Come on the podcast. Let's chat.
Yeah.
What if we just add her? What if we just say had Issa?
Let's fucking do it.
Join the pod.
On Hero, we watch you on the pod. No, for
She's
sure.
like, who are these people with 30 followers on Threads?
It could be 31.
All right, thank you, Steven, thank you for hitting us up.
One more. He's got two more things, Luis.
My bad.
That was one. I swear, I'll leave y'all alone. But I got one. The second thing I wanted to say is another history thing. Today is the anniversary of the assassination of Malcolm X. So go do some criminal activity for him in his honor. There's a show called Genius. Have you guys heard of this show? The first season was like Einstein. The fourth season is MLK Malcolm X. So they're doing like a combo. It's been great. And tomorrow's the last two episodes where he actually gets shot. And I was like, why didn't they come out today? I don't know. I don't know any of the actors. I've never seen them before. But they look a lot.
The content is good.
The first season was the one with Jeffrey Rush as Einstein.
Was he Einstein? I didn't know that.
Or was it Andy Serkis? I don't know.
That would be amazing too. Dang,
it sounds like you don't actually watch this show,
well,
Steven.
Now, hold on. I've only seen the season. I don't watch
okay.
No. I watch
because the second season is Picasso with Antonio Banderas, I think. Right?
Antonio
Banderas,
yeah.
No, I didn't
even know there was a fourth season. Anyway.
It's a great season, so if you get a chance to watch it. Okay.
We're also, I'm just letting people know we're filming on a Wednesday, so if you're
sorry, yes, we're filming
on Friday. They're like all the history nerds are like, it's not Malcolm X.
It's already happened.
It already happened. These bozos.
Malcolm X Day. Okay. That's all. Just want to say that. Thanks for having me on the podcast. And,
Devo!
Be careful out there, guys. People go missing all the time, right?
All right, so now that we did our feature...
creepy. I was just saying... I was trying to
think it sounded like a threat.
True Detective line, and instead I said NYPD Blue, or NYPD Blue line. Never mind. I got my mixed up. Okay. I'm leaving. All right, bye. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so tune in for what we're into coming up next.
Bye.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to talk about what we're into. Thank you so much for staying along here. This is that portion of the episode. Where we talk about what we're into. Miguel, what have you been into?
Okay. I got a big announcement, you guys.
Okay, there's spoilers.
The biggest surprise. No, are you guys watching the show Only Murders in the Building? Have you guys heard of this?
I watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've only seen season 1, so
what?
Oh, it's a good mix. It's a good mix. Okay.
Yeah. Well, but so don't spoil it because we do intend on doing it, but we just haven't.
I will say I will generally talk about the show, but I'll try not to spoil anything major. Okay.
Okay.
So we are currently watching season 3. Some characters have been announced for season 4. I'm like, okay, now I see where it's going. This is a show I did. So Only Murders in the Building. This is a show I was not interested in watching. I was going to be honest. My wife was watching it, and every now and then we kind of jump in Like, you know what I mean? Like, while she's watching an episode, I'm like, oh, tell me more. What's happening here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I finally sat down, season 1 to now. I'm in love with this show, you guys.
That's right.
It's got all of the elements that I feel like, honestly, all three of us kind of love.
It's a cozy ass show.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. This is one of those streaming. This is like a streaming content that just feels so enriched. You know what I mean? Like every scene, every season, I'm engaged. I'm having a good time. Every season they go, let's take it up just a notch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's earned and it's worthy. It's a solid cast. The main three, Martin Short,
Hold
Steve
on,
Martin.
Miguel.
Oh my God, you guys see this?
What?
You guys see?
Oh, your cat?
Sorry.
Hold on. Actually, Miguel, did you see there was a fly on Ed's face? I was trying to get your attention.
I know. I was hoping you didn't see that. God damn it. God damn it.
It was on you for a minute. It was on you for a minute.
My felines are ferocious.
I felt it and then it went away. I was just like, hopefully they didn't see that. But
it was like eating on your dead skin.
Okay.
Whoa, my skin
is clean and pristine, Luis.
I moisturize, okay? Fuck.
Okay, we've been watching Only Murders in the Building. I'm not going to do this again. Only Murders in the Building. It's a top-notch show. Okay, I'm having a great time. We're 3 seasons deep. I won't spoil too much. I think the main cast is great. Martin Short, Steve Martin, Selena Gomez. To be honest, pretty good.
It's a great mix of people. It's a good chemistry.
Amy Ryan.
Oh, Ed. Okay, so Ed, you were telling me you only seen season 1. Amy Ryan is a standout of that season.
I love her.
But the show does such a great job of every season giving you that little of a standout. And it's crazy that by season 3, that little is fucking Meryl Streep. Okay, it's honestly mind blowing that she's even like, yeah, I'll do your show. I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking do your show. It's fine. She shares the scene with Paul Rudd, and she fucking kills it. You know what I mean? Paul Rudd's like, meh, Paul Rudd, and Meryl Streep's like,
he is like that, isn't he?
But kind of in an appropriate manner. Yeah. And Meryl Streep is like, well, listen, I'm gonna come out here and kind of outdo you a little bit, but it's fine.
But it's that Nathan Lane is in it, right?
Season 1 and 2, not 3, but his son makes an appearance in season 3. Hey.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to watch this show.
It's a 30-minute show too, so I think it's nice, cozy, digestible, and there are not that many episodes. It's a great cast, really fun premise, and I really would love to see them host the Oscars, all 3 of them together. That would be a dream.
Okay,
wow.
we can have that conversation. No, stop. If Ed is about to disagree with me and Luis in this moment,
no, I agree. I 100% agree. I was just like, yeah, that's brilliant because Steve Martin and Martin Short may not have already hosted, but Steve Martin has hosted before.
But he hosted with Alec Baldwin, and we know how that's going. Okay, so I think Steve Martin Short, they are icons. Selena Gomez is honestly great chemistry with the two of them, which is surprising. Throw them in an Oscar, you know what I mean, hosting position. Listen, Jimmy Kimmel, we get it.
And then the cast of Only Murders in the Building.
Honestly, Ed, that's not controversial, what you just said. I would watch both of those shows, okay?
Yep.
So,
waka.
Anyway,
I'm gonna talk next because I have a good connection here. I recently watched Bowfinger.
Oh yeah,
which has
Steve Martin.
Yes, thank you.
Steve Martin.
Did you guys see what I did? No, actually, no, I haven't. I remember it distinctly. Like,
do you remember the poster at Blockbuster? Right?
Exactly. Eddie Murphy, big grin.
Yes, exactly.
Braces.
I rented this movie multiple times at Blockbuster. I loved it. It was super funny. Steve Martin. I had a phase of Steve Martin where I loved Father of the Bride 1, Father of the Bride 2. I loved Bowfinger. Eddie Murphy plays 2 different characters in this one. I know he does that that's his thing. but he does a really good job with it. It's about a filmmaker, film director who's trying to make it big, and it does a lot of really funny jokes. It's a tight hour 30. Great comedy. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Had a great time with it. That's all I'm going to say.
What's it on, Luis?
It's on my Plex account. I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I was just trying to promote it.
Not accessible to everybody, okay?
My bad, guys. Have a cool friend like Luis, and then you can watch it.
Why don't you DM me, and maybe I'll add you to it.
Yeah, send us some money first.
You gotta, send us some money. You gotta rent it. Bro. Sorry, guys. Do you know the director? Do you know who the director is for this movie?
Show us.
Frank Oz.
No, I love Frank Oz.
Yeah.
He did Death at a Funeral. He is Yoda. Miss Piggy talking to Muppets.
Yes.
Muppet.
He is a Muppet.
He's a bit of a Muppet. And Steve Martin did the screenplay for it as well.
Oh, nice. Why have I never... I don't know. Bowfinger has been a part of my life for a long time, but I've never seen it. It's crazy. Cool.
Man, that's a movie where I wish we were in the same city so that we could just watch it together, because that would be
a watch party. Yeah,
a watch party. Yeah. Ed, what have you been into?
All right, I'll make it quick. So the other night, our good friend Josh Brown took us to go see Ghost Dog: Way of the Samurai. Have you guys heard of this movie? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Okay, so it's an interesting film. It's it came out in 1999. It has Forrest Whitaker in it, and he's basically a hitman who works for the local Italian mafia. And it's kind of like John Wick-y meets, I don't know, Prizzy's Honor or something like that. It's like it's almost like a spoof on the hitman genre and the Italian mafia, but it's not like a full-out comedy or anything. It's just kind of playing on those tropes. So Forrest Whitaker is this hitman who he lives by the way of the samurai, and the movie is packed full of quotes of that kind of philosophy. And it's about him going on a job that goes wrong in a certain way, and so the mafia try and take him out, much to their,
chagrin,
fault.
Oh, okay.
They just end up all dead. Spoilers alerts. So they chagrin.
This is directed by Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah, who did Only Lovers Left Alive.
Wow.
So yeah, it was interesting. I knew nothing about it going into it. Josh just hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to go see Ghost Dog: Way of the Samurai?" I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because on paper, if I read that title, I would
confidence.
Yeah, I would not go see it. The
sequel to Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. Cocaine Bear, Way of the Donkey. It was surprisingly entertaining. It was good. I haven't seen a whole lot of younger Forrest Whitaker roles, so it was cool to see him in this kind of performance. So it was a really interesting movie. If you guys ever just want to throw on a short one, I will say that my bladder betrayed me. And this is why I never get beer in a movie theater, because it always makes me need to go pee.
So all of a sudden it's my
because
fault.
It was
in the last. My bad.
It was literally in the last 5 minutes of the movie, the main thing had happened, and I was busting. It was at an Alamo Draft House, so I helped myself to a martini, and I followed it up with a Brooklyn Lager, and of course. My bladder betrayed me, and it's just you're not going to see the end. You're not going to see the end of this movie. You're going to have to be. I was literally about to piss myself, and I had to go.
And you should have. Okay,
piss myself.
If you were a fan,
you
would have.
It wasn't
should have.
Yeah, didn't. I caught the last closing shot and shit like that. So I got the gist, you know what I mean? But it was an interesting movie. Go check it out. I guess it's like an anniversary year. I don't know the math.
No, funny enough about this is that this movie premiered in Cannes May 19, 1999, and Bowfinger was released in August 13th, 1999. So these are 1999 movies, Ed.
The year of 99.
Hey, why do you got a squeaky ass chair over there? All right, everybody, that's tonight's episode. Thank you for tuning in. A lot of big news. We got a new child being born after this episode. We also reviewed True Detective. Look at that baby. Can't wait for it to be on the podcast. Can't wait for it to be a regular on the podcast. But until then, until your child's birth, it's been me, Luis Gonzalez.
See you in September.
Our next episode, September. It's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me's been
Miguel Sanchez.
And Ed Bull.
And until next time,
later, skaters.